the PR guy has knocked it out since the beginning. And his name is Denver Matchett, if I've got your last name correct. What's going on, Denver? How are you?
Hey Joe, that's correct. How are you? It's honor to be here. Thanks for having me tonight.
Well, you're moving up the ladder, kid. What's it feel like you're going to be the new director?
Oh man, it's been pretty surreal. It's been a crazy week since the announcement first came out last Monday. I've had a lot of messages, a lot of people reaching out, and that means a lot. But what I'm most looking forward to is just working to build this sport that we all love and build this series up for the drivers, the teams, the fans, the sponsors, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
It sure is. It's about those fans and how much they enjoy the fruits of your labors, because you guys work awful hard at this. And I know a lot of race fans don't know the inner workings and what goes on behind the scenes. They get to the racetrack, they pay their dough, they see the cars, and they, form their opinion. But none of that happens without good racetracks, without good infrastructure from a series perspective, to put rules together, to do schedules, to do all of that stuff. And the only time we tend to hear the names is when, something's wrong. Who did that? Oh, that was Denver. But that isn't the case. You're lighting the lamp, man. How is the preparations coming for 26?
The preparations, Joe, are well underway. I mean, you've been in this position before. You've ran some series and been so involved over the years, and it starts now. I always say that preparation leads to results, and we've been in more meetings here in the last 3 or 4 weeks than what I think I've ever been in the rest of my life. And we're only talking, this is the 23rd of November, so a lot of hard work going in, a lot of things we want to work towards, and we want to keep building this. We want to get things right for the drivers, the teams, and the fans. And we got the balls rolling. There's some announcements that have come out, and there's going to be more to come, I'm sure. We're working hard. We have a phenomenal team. We couldn't do it without our whole team. It's a really great team we got, and we got some great tracks, awesome drivers, awesome fans. Like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys had good car counts this year, and the competition, man, it speaks for itself. And really, when it comes time for rules and putting the rule package together, of course, you got to listen to the customer. We got a number of customers. We got the race fan, we got the racetrack, and we got the competitors. Everybody says, oh, no, you only got one customer. It's the racer. Well, no, we got to be concerned with all of this, because the decision we make with this is going to affect everybody else right down to the concession. So you got to try and get it right. And race teams, if you let them go, they will eat themselves. They'll get themselves right out of business, because they're all looking for that individual advantage, if you will, for their race team, and they try and keep it quiet. And it was funny. Joe Jr. and I were in the car yesterday driving back to Hanover. I'm dropping him off at home, and he just developed that 2-speed, some new brake stuff. And he's got some real cool stuff coming. But I said, and we were talking about one of the veteran, and I mean real veterans of the sport. I'll leave his name out for now, but he was a super competitor back in the day. And he would say, hey, oh man, I got this figured out for my car. And everything was mum, right? Well, then a couple other race teams over the course of time would end up finding out what that guy was doing, and they'd add it to their car. Now it's kind of public knowledge, because 2 or 3 race teams had it. So now it's at the point where the other teams are talking that these guys have got that. Are you going to allow this or what? And at that point, the original guy that has it says, oh no, that's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. Don't put that in, because now someone else had it, and they don't have their advantage anymore. I guess what I'm trying to get at, Denver, is it's got to be a real balancing act to deal with the competitors, to come up with a rule package where you're never going to satisfy all of them, but you got to satisfy the majority of them, lock them in, and go race. And for the most part, finally, at the end of the last meeting, that should cap it, and everybody's got to come out the other side energized, getting ready for 26. Have you had the rules meetings yet, and how are the discussions going?
Yeah, so we've absolutely already had some rules meetings. It actually started probably about a month ago here. The first meeting was internally, just our team, the directors, the staff, to get the ball rolling and have internal communications on what we saw as issues, what we wanted to address. And then 2 weeks later, we took that to the teams and we had a meeting. We had it in Moncton with as many teams that could show up as possible, and it was really positive. We had a bigger turnout than I expected, which was awesome to see. And you're spot on the money there. They're not always all going to agree, but it's our job to listen. And for me, I want to have that open door where every team, I don't care if it's a team that finishes top 3 in points or if it's a team battling for 18th in points, every team matters to me, and every team's opinion matters to me because they all have different perspectives and they're all part of the show. We want them to all keep coming back to the track. So we want to listen to all those teams. We had some great discussions at that rules meeting. Even after that meeting, people have been reaching out. We've been talking back and forth. My messages have been steady, working on some ideas, working on plans. Ultimately, the goal is to get these rules out here sometime in December. We want to give it out plenty of time in advance so that people can start looking, all the teams can start preparing their cars. We don't want to wait too late, but all of that's already well underway. We've already had the meetings. We had the meeting a week before our banquet, and our banquet was 2 weeks ago, which, Joe, that was an awesome night. Sold out crowd. We have to look for a bigger venue for next year. We're already looking at that. A lot of momentum heading into 2026. There's a lot of excitement, and we're really looking forward to it for, as you mentioned, all our customers. And you mentioned 3 customers, Joe. I like to add a 4th. I include the sponsors as a 4th customer that we have to work for. There's 4 people, 4 groups that all have different needs, perspectives, and wants, and we got to try to keep them all happy the best we can. But at the end of the day, the goal is collectively to grow the sport, grow the series, and put on the best racing that we can. As long as we can pack the pits, pack the stands, the drivers will take care of the rest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You get the right collection of competitors, and you just watch the people roll in the gate. That's what history making is all about, and that's what you guys are making, and that's the cool part. It's funny, we talked earlier about Tom Curley, and I was fortunate enough to meet Tom and know Tom back in the day, and hey, there was nobody more rugged and stern than Tom Curley. I imagine you, even Denver out there, heard stories about Tom Curley. Tom would say to me, Joe, it's not a democratic society when you're in racing. You have to be the leader, you have to be the thick-skinned guy, but you gotta listen. You listen, and then you rule. And that's the way it is. Don't let them vote. Whatever you do, don't let them vote. He said they will blow it up. Don't let them vote. Listen to them. Take the information. Know that if you do a rule change here that costs $100, it isn't a $100 change because you multiply it by 25 teams. It's a $2,500 change. And there was so many lessons I learned from that man. And he was right. He was right on everything, and just kind of cool. It's got to feel really good being in your position, being with the series. You've been with us since day one, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I was actually with the series since before it was even announced. I was in a transition period with some work at different work I was doing, and Brent Roy had reached out. It was just perfect timing and said, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this series, and we want you to be a part of it." And I was jumped right at the opportunity. I will say Brent has been probably one of the best race directors I've dealt with. I have so much respect for what he's done, and I've learned a lot from him, and also learned things that maybe I would want to do different. That's how we learn, how we grow. I never got the chance to actually watch Tom Curley do his thing, but all these people that have come before me, a lot of respect for what they've done. A guy I think you would know fairly well, Mike Ledwidge, had shared a post this week of Tom Curley. I believe it's the Vermont Motorsports Hall of Fame. They had a post on Facebook about it, and Mike noted about Tom and Mike's father Ernie and the impact they had on the sport, and the amount of respect I have for all those guys and what they've done is just unbelievable. And hopefully we can carry that on. I actually read a book. I was given a book about Dave Dion one time, and he had some stories about Tom Curley in it, and I read up on that. And there's maybe been a few tricks that I've thought about over the years and learned from it. And maybe, like I said, some things that we want to do a little different. But, those guys, they're true pioneers. That's the word for it. And they're pioneers of the sport. And where would we be today without the work they've done?
And look at that. They passed the torch. It's up to us now to take that torch. And like you say, times they change, things change, but there's a ton of it that stay the same. And as long as we don't step in the same pitfalls that they did, especially after they tell us don't step in that hole, and we can't blindly just go, oh, okay, and then step in it and wonder why we fell. It's just amazing. So, schedule-wise, does the schedule, it's being formulated now? Oyster Bed Speedway and PEI is a beautiful little racetrack that has races. Of course, Petty International Raceway, Speedway 660, all cornerstones of maritime racing. How's the schedule coming along?
So we actually just the other day made the schedule public. We have 6 races once again at those 3 tracks, as you mentioned, top-notch facilities with top-notch management. We're going to actually bookend the year at Petty this year. We're going to start on May 16th. I believe that's the Victoria Day weekend, really get the ball rolling. And 3 months later, we go back to Petty for the finale as part of the Riverglade International. And then in between, we got 2 stops at Speedway 660. And the racing at Speedway 660 is usually some of the best. That track really allows drivers to get up on the wheel and get racy. And then Oyster Bed Speedway, we go there in the middle of June, and then on the first weekend of August. That's been our tradition now for the last 3 years, and this will mark year 4. We always look at what's best, how we can juggle it. There's always, we had some comments on Facebook this week talking about, be nice to see Oyster Bed Speedway have the finale, and I agree. I would love to see that too, but I said it's a compliment to that facility. The fans show up so strongly for the dates we have, you almost don't want to mess with it. Yeah. Because they pack that place consistently on those dates. And if you move it a little later in the year, they're an island close to the water. The weather might be a little tricky. But we always look at that, what's best, how can we make things better. It's going to be a great 6-race series once again. The drivers love it. The drivers that have been supporting us since day one. The 6 races really fits well into their schedule. And Joe, the one thing that we have here this year, that we did it 2 years ago, and we're back to it this year, the way the calendar fell. We're wrapping up in the middle of August, which is very nice because there's a lot of big open shows at the end of the year. All these guys will be done their points racing before that point. They have about 2 months afterwards to go chase big money races, big trophy races. And as series and track officials, we all kind of work together. It allows us to focus our efforts on making those big events the best that they can be as well.
Good move. That's using the noggin, and that's putting together a package that really, really helps the race space, the fans, the sponsors, the all of it. That's real good forward thinking, and good on you guys for doing that. How's the sponsorship? Everything looking good there?
Everything looks great. We have, I would believe, one of the best sponsors in the sport with Easy Clean Pressure Systems. They will be back. CEO, I'm not sure his official title. Brad joined us at the finale, and from what I heard, he was so thrilled to get to meet the drivers and see it in action. He hadn't gotten to many races, and just the excitement of the finale, the show that those drivers put on, it was remarkable. Easy Clean has sponsored Chris Duncan, one of the veteran drivers on the series, so there's some personal connections in there, and let me tell you, the team at Easy Clean, they're so passionate about this sport. Melissa, she dresses up as Bruce the Moose, our mascot, every race, and brings so much energy. The kids love it. They always have a group there set up with a booth, talking and interacting with fans, selling shirts. They have coloring books to give out for the kids. They are such a phenomenal title sponsor, and we're really looking forward to year 3. And we're actually working with them here now with some Christmas parades coming up the next few weeks. We're hoping we can get Bruce and some race cars out to the parades. But they're not the only sponsor we have. I mean, we can't do it without all the sponsors. Clam Diggers Beach House from PEI has been with us from day one. I think they're one of the first sponsors signed. Kent, they have a phenomenal restaurant. Joe, if you ever get to PEI, you got to try it out. Tell them that the Super Late Model Series sent you, because it is a phenomenal spot. A beautiful view there. King Competition has been with us. They do the Restart Zone. They've been a great sponsor. And, EIT Race Radios does the Pole Award. We have a bunch of race sponsors, contingency sponsors. There's so many. The list is too long. We'd be here all night. But it's an awesome team that we have, awesome partners, and we're looking to add. So if there's anyone looking to get involved and help grow this series and sport, hey, our phones are open and we'd love to chat.
Absolutely, and they can contact you guaranteed. Denver, you guys are doing a fantastic job. When it comes time for the other tour, it is the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. I don't know if their schedule is out. I haven't looked, to be honest, and I didn't know that yours was out. Do you know if they conflict at all, or have you guys both done a good job and stayed away?
Yeah, so both schedules are out, and I can tell you, very happy to say they're now, provided Mother Nature is nice with us all summer, there is zero conflicts. And we actually, I was on the phone with Dan, at the general manager, several times, and we chatted back and forth and texted back and forth. And, I don't look at it as quote unquote the other tour. We're both racing series here in the Maritimes that are working to grow the sport. I know some people like to think there's some behind the scenes the stuff that goes on. If there is, that's not how I look at it. We want to work together as much as possible, and we work together on the schedule. There was a few things we talked back and forth, but Dan has been 100% to deal with. I'm looking forward to working with him. Every conversation I've had with him has been exceptional, and their entire team, Rob and Craig, they all reached out when the announcement first came out here last week that I was going to be stepping into the new role, and we're all looking forward to working together, because at the end of the day, we understand each other's objectives. We know that we kind of cater to different bases of drivers, and we want them to all come to as many races as possible, but budgets, time, that all constricts it. But no conflicts. That's great for the fans, great for the drivers and teams, and provided as long as Mother Nature plays nice. Unfortunately, last year there was one or two instances where we lost 6 weekends to start the year, and it kind of caused a stack up, and that was an unfortunate deal. But there's only so many weekends, and hopefully this year we can get it all in. I will say, when I look at the schedule going forward for 2026, I do see 2 or 3 opportunities for rain dates that would avoid conflicts if need be too. So that's even factored in. So if Mother Nature doesn't play nice, there is a bit of wiggle room, but no, we worked with them on that, and I think we're all working and making positive steps to making it the best we can.
That's called doing the homework on both ends of things, and congratulations to absolutely everyone for doing that. How about infrastructure-wise? Do you guys carry your own starter, your own scorekeeper, all of that, or do you utilize the track staff when you go?
So it's a bit of both. Our series staff is very small. There's going to be myself as the director. Donnie Greer is our technical director. He does a great job. He's been doing this, Joe, for longer than I've been alive. So the amount of respect I have for Donnie and the knowledge he has is unbelievable. Steve is our chief scorer. He's going to be back for year number 4. He's the best in the business. Regan McCauley is our series announcer. He was a rookie announcer this year in 2025, and you wouldn't know it was his first year. He stepped up and knocked it out of the park, and that's kind of what we have for our operations staff. We have Matt Marr, who runs the camera. Of course, our series directors, Chris Fournier, Wayne Smith, Robbie McLean, they're owners of the other 2 tracks, Petty Raceway and Oysterbed Speedway. They're part of the series, and they kind of run the show behind the scenes and help us out with all that. But that's kind of all we got. I mean, we're looking to add a few more people with the loss of Brent and whatnot, but we run a small ship, but a mighty ship. And then from there, we rely on track staff. We use the track pace car. We use the track flagman. All of that. That's about it that we got. So it's just a couple people, and we make it work. We all work together and collaborate, and that's how the magic happens. Is teamwork makes the dream work. So it's a small team we got, but we make it happen.
That's the way to do it. And if there is someone out there that's interested in maybe getting and be part of this, and to be part of it, you live in the Maritimes, you live in that market, and you want to be part of the team, you can always check with Denver and see what the potentials are. And you never know, you could be on that team and be part of the show. That would be kind of cool because it takes all walks, and you never know who could show up.
100%, and that's exactly how Regan became part of our team. He started out just working on our social media team, running cameras, and now he's announcing the series. When we first announced the series, about 2 months into the off season, he kind of just fired a message at our Facebook page, and we had a meeting with him and started chatting with him, and he got into with Oyster Bed Speedway and in with us, and look at where he's climbed up the ranks to be an announcer in just a few short years. So that's all it takes. Shoot us a message. We try to have fun, but we also strive to do a professional job. We operate with integrity, accountability. That's what it takes to do this right. But at the same time, you got to have a bit of fun. And at the end of the day, there's going to be good days and bad days, but the good days far outweigh the bad days. That's a known fact. So anyone wants to reach out, we're more than thrilled to welcome you to our team.
Man, I can't wait. I'm going to get out there for some races. I'd love to broadcast some of those super late model races. It would be right off the hook. Maybe down the road, we'll have to see what transpires, Denver. This has been great catching up. You got to do me a favor. Keep me up to date, as you always do, but keep me up to date. We'll get you back on here in the new year to share all that new news and get the fans jacked up to see some easy, clean, super late model stuff.
Absolutely, Joe. It sounds like a great plan. We're going to have lots to chat about as the off season progresses here, and we'll be back on in the new year. There'll be a lot to talk about. We'll have some sponsors. We'll have some hopefully new developments, and we'll have registration starting to roll, and we'll be able to talk about all the drivers that are going to chase the championship here in 2026. So thanks to you for all that you do. It's people like you too that get the word out better than any of us can, and keep people in the loop and keep all eyes on this sport, because that all helps it. And thanks for having us on, and happy holidays to everyone.
You betcha. Same to you. Say hi to everybody on the staff and all the connections there. Everyone have a safe holiday, and we'll see you in 2026, Denver. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Absolutely. I can't wait. Denver Matchett. It's going to be awesome. That's Denver. Look at that. New role, full of energy, and doing the right things. Got schedule done, working with teams, getting the sponsorship lined up. There's a ton that goes in behind the scenes into all of these guys. And all the hard work, the homework, when it's done, all of a sudden it's May. That's when, the homework's done, is when the racing starts. If you see good product on the racetrack this summer, and you will with these guys, it's because they got their homework done in the off season to ensure that they have a good time at the racetrack, and it's going to be off the hook.